Hello everybody, today is Chav Gimel Teves, and we are beginning Perek Tezvav in Tanya. So now that we understand the difference between a tzaddik and a beinoni and a rasha from the inside of what's going on inside of them, so now we can understand the pasuk that it said in Malachi. It always said, V'shaftem re'isem bein tzaddik l'rasha bein oived Hashem v'asher lo yavadai. Translated, that means that now you could come and look and see what is the difference between a tzaddik and a rasha, a servant of God and one who does not serve God. So it always sounded like a redundant statement. The tzaddik is the servant of God and the rasha is the one who does not serve God. However, now that we understand what it means to be a tzaddik, rasha, and beinoni, we see that this pasuk is actually talking about a tzaddik, a rasha, and two kinds of beinonis. One who serves God and one who does not serve God. So what does this mean? So first of all, the tzaddik, he's not called a oived Hashem. The word oived Hashem connotes that you are working for God, you are struggling to do effort and put in work to serve the Lord. The tzaddik doesn't do that because he doesn't have a nefesh b'hamas anymore. He serves God. He's called an eved Hashem. He's a servant, but he's not putting in the struggle. He already is, and it's all almost a breeze to serve Hashem. It's a delight. It's a pleasure. He loves God's light, and it's simple for him. The Oived Hashem, the one who has to struggle, is the one who still has a nefesh b'hamas, the beinoni. Every day the nefesh b'hamas says, hey, let's go do some verse, and he says, no, we're going to fight against this, and pushes it down. It's a struggle. He's an Oived Hashem. He is struggling against the nefesh b'hamas, and he is called someone who puts an effort to serve the Lord. Who is Asher Lo Yavadai? Who is the one who does not serve Hashem? That's another kind of beinoni. It's not a rasha. A rasha is somebody who's moirid b'malchus. That's somebody who's against the king. Not only does he not serve him, he goes against him. Somebody who just doesn't serve God, this is another kind of beinoni. This is somebody who does every mitzvah. Because we said a beinoni means that you can't do any averes, and you can't even be doing bittul Torah. So every moment of his day is involved in mitzvahs. So why could he be possibly called lo yavadai, or somebody who doesn't serve God? So the Alter Rebbe says something very interesting here. He says, if you are naturally born with a studious mind, what gets you excited is that you want to sit and read books all day. So you read Gemara and you're learning Tanya and you're diving deep into the Mefarshim. Good for you. You're enjoying yourself. You're doing what's right. You know, you're not a rasha chas v'shalom. You're definitely a beinoni, but it's not taking any effort from you. And somebody who doesn't have a struggle with Teves, somebody who doesn't have any real draw to the pleasures of the world. He's not excited by food. He doesn't get excited by women. He doesn't get excited by averes. He's really into mitzvahs. So he's a beinoni. He's a good person, but he's not a oived Hashem. He's not struggling to fight and work for God. What's so exciting? What's so great about somebody who has to struggle to work for Hashem? So we explained earlier that what is one of the tools that the beinoni uses to win himself over the nefesh b'hamas? How does he win the struggle? Is that he has to, by davening, contemplate about Hashem and connect himself and dedicate his mind and his heart and his actions. And he has to do these great meditations to instill within himself a love and get a burning, passionate Ava Kirish Beyesh, that was the burning, flaming fire, and that's how he overcomes. But somebody who's not tested, somebody who's not challenged by the world's Teves, he won't ever go down this path of trying to connect himself in a beautiful way to Hashem. So that's why there's something lacking. He's a lo yavadai. He's not serving God. Even though he is serving God, on the outside it looks like he's doing everything right, but he's not putting himself into it. There's no passion, there's no fire, there's no blood. So that is lo yavadai. Now the Alter Rebbe says something even more interesting. He says, what if you were not born that you enjoy the books? And when you were growing up, you did have passions and desires, and you worked on yourself, and now you do enjoy davening, and you do enjoy learning, and you're no longer bothered by these Teves. He says, when you were going through the struggle, then you were called Oived Hashem. You were serving Hashem with this passion, and you had to think about His love. But now that you have already achieved that, and you sort of settle back into your place, now you're back to Lo Yavadai. You're not putting in any effort. The Alter Rebbe is saying you got to constantly grow. You have to constantly be pushing the boundaries to go further, further, and further, further. That is today's Tanya. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.